Hey there, fellow creators. Ben here from Cinderblock Studios, and welcome to a Friday digital Q&A sketch drawing session thing. Um, I really kind of have to apologize for how kind of spontaneous this was. Um, I wasn't really planning on doing this tonight, but I was kind of looking at my weekend, and I was like, I have nothing planned to record a video for this weekend. Um, so I wanted to, I guess, do this in advance and supplement for Saturday, just because I don't have anything lined up, and I've got a project I really need to finish, and a project that I need to start. And the sketch for this that I'm working on tonight is the project that I really need to start. Um, I gotta make sure I can bring up my. Sorry, I'm trying to bring up the stream so I can monitor comments off to the side because I know I'm gonna get into this and kind of lose track of where I'm at. Um, so, for fuck's sake, man. Don't need ads on my own stuff. Okay, so um, also I got music going in the background, at least for me, not for you guys. But gotta remember I don't have to talk over it. Um, so yeah, it's Friday night. I'm relaxing. Having some Mike's Harder. Only drink it. Only drink if you're legally able to. But I've got this commission project lined up, and I promised uh, my client that I would have a colored sketch out. I told him in a couple of days last week, so I kind of have to get this done and out to him, so I know I can actually be good to go and ready to go for Canvas prior to that. I'm sure everything will be fine, but I want to actually get this done anyway, because anytime I'm doing a uh, a canvas piece out of a commission, especially in this case out of a commission that I really don't know the subject matter. I'm coming in doing this based off of a game I've never played. So the game is called shoot, what was it? Risk of Rain 2. It recently hit. I think recently being I'm not really sure exactly how recently. I know it hit the Switch store. It came out of early access, like beta on Steam sometime earlier this year. So it's not like absolutely new, but it's one of those games that's kind of still half in development in some ways. So I was like, hey, he's like, hey, this would work in your style, and I totally agree because I think it's probably like a Unity engine game. I gotta My music's at like 2%. It's still too loud. Oh wait a minute, I can change that and hold on. Didn't change the volume in the player. One thing, unfortunately, that didn't transfer from my old computer, my old playlists, so I have to rebuild them from scratch. But yeah, so the style is sort of this really sort of more or less basic Unity engine style kind of game, and so it actually does fit with my particular painting style uh, pretty well. But I do need to. Um, okay, my touch seems to be off. Well, it's probably just because it's not. Oh, what the hell just happened? Oh, freaking Windows shortcuts. God. I do kind of really still miss Windows 7. Alright, where's my cursor? Where the hell's my cursor at? So I'm just trying to trace over the sketch I did in my sketchbook a little bit to get myself my digital lines down first before I start kind of mapping out color. And that's really all I'm trying to do here is just map out a little color to this. And these funny, they're like they're they're circular stone structures from what I could tell in the game, but they're more ambiguous. It's going to be like the one thing that I have to kind of pay attention to a little bit more in terms of getting them to look at least kind of right. Because I was given just grab the image here. Give me a second. I was given this image. I was texted this image because this is what shows up on the wiki page for this. Uh, but unfortunately, this is all the bigger this image gets. Nobody has a 1080p minimum. Like this is all the bigger it gets, which sucks. So I had to take this as well as I looked up some gameplay footage. I got also some other screenshots and things as to what this place looks like, and it's like there's like it's like the first level in the game or something. And I'm like, okay, well, I've never tried to paint something based on the game that I've never played, so it has to kind of look right, but still be different enough that it's not that it could like my issue like with this kind of thing. It's like because it kind of falls under the realm of fan art, but I can't like well technically nobody can legally sell fan art. Um, Commissions again are a little bit more of a legal gray area, but it's still a thing that I dance around a little bit. Even the few pieces that I've done that are my own that are really fan arty, I specifically I'm like I won't sell these and I won't sell prints of them because it plays into that level of like is this actually legal? Granted, an independent like early access game like this, I'm sure the developers would just would be more impressed and like love the idea rather than the company like Nintendo or EA or Epic Games that would probably sue the shit off sue your pants off. That's a better way to say that. Um, for something like that, and also God, my perspective's already wrong. Yeah. So there's these funny ring structures that are semi-structural, semi-organic in some ways since they're very curvy. And my biggest challenge for this is going to be to get those to look close enough to the game, but um, change them enough that it's actually going to be feasible for me to do and not butcher. So I'm trying to. Okay, that's not where I wanted that path to go. Yeah. So the weird world of commissions, especially commissions on video games I've never played. And that's part of the thing with this is like if it was a game that I was interested in and that I had played, I'd have a different approach to it than I am doing right kind of just blindly. It was like here's a screenshot of the game, paint this for me, and it was like, okay, well, I don't know anything about this game. I've never seen it before. I'd never heard of it before. But I still have to capture the essence of the place without both doing harm to the integrity of the original game as well as making my client happy. Um, so it's like, well, let me grab some screenshots, and my biggest thing was I was like, should I buy the game and play it? It's like, well, no, because I don't have any interest in the game. So, I mean, I could do that in terms of research, but it wouldn't be super cost and mostly time effective for me to do so. So I was like, well, that's why Let's Plays exist. So I just looked up some gameplay footage. I watched it for like, basically watched the same um, 15-minute segment for like an hour. And I was like, okay, I got it. Because I just need to capture the general essence of this world rather than trying to completely replicate it. And I told my client that right out of the gate. I was like, I can't and won't do a direct copy of a screenshot. Um, and the guy's very understanding. He's actually bought some of my work before, which is nice. So he kind of has we already have a little bit of a rapport in that he understands that the piece needs to diverge from the original content enough to make it to some degree an original piece, which I think is important for any given project, especially a project that kind of leans towards the fan art side of things. It needs to be distinct and different, but still captures the essence of what you're working on. Okay, and the figure's actually going to change by the time I hit the final painting. Because, like, there's these astronaut type figures in this game that I want to try and capture to some degree in that silhouette rather than just my basic silhouette figure. That's a decent start. I need enough lines in here to indicate where things are going. And again, this little digital sketch is mostly just for me. But when I'm doing a commission project like this, I want to be sure that my client is happy with like everything I'm going to do long before I even touch brush to canvas. And if you're looking for tips for commission stuff, the only thing I can really tell you is between that, like sketch it 6 billion times, make sure it's good, make sure your client approves before you do the final piece. But also, like, you gotta be sure that you have that communication. Because if you're struggling with communication with a client, I like personally, I'd like thinking they're not getting back to me and this and that and whatever. Like, I would not do that. I would not do a project with that many uncertainties, or with a client that they can't get back to me within, I would say, bare minimum a week, or I would say no, other way around, maximum a week, bare minimum probably a day, or yeah, probably a day. Like you got to have that open communication with your client, otherwise you're just gonna run into problems. Um, that's workable. Okay, so I'm actually gonna keep that at a really light, maybe 30-40% is good. And grab a new layer. So yeah, this is first challenge I would say is that the game's sky really leaves something to be desired. It's just sort of this gradient, greenish, white, misty gradient. So that's the first problem to tackle. Actually, I like this aerial shot a lot because I get to see a ton of just the general area. Like this helps me out so much more than this does. Well, like this gives me the composition, but this gets me the world, and I can see where things are sitting and how they're sitting, and the shape of those pillar, half circle, quarter circle structures there, because there's a lot of those around. There's a lot of those like half rings littered throughout this. And when I found there's a top down, not this top down, but like a basic map, or so to speak, that I saw, and one thing I saw that, so there are these two structures here, and then there's actually a third one, but it's out of the shot of this image. So when I sketched the composition, I put that in as a foreground element, which kind of done on purpose there to kind of unify the composition and bring everything around a little bit. So I want to get sort of that yellowish green color, or greenish blue color rather. Just bring that back over. Let's just kind of have a look at that. It's really sort of like a greenish aqua. Okay. So way more green than it is blue. But it's still kind of grayed out. So maybe at the darkest, like there. Just work our way up with it. Where's my basic? Yeah. Soft round, man. Soft round. Okay. And oh, I gotta look now, because that's... So is it light on the horizon, or is it dark on the horizon? I think it's light on the horizon. The way it kind of should be. And dark all around. So yeah, my guess here is the way the at least the way the game engine is kind of working it is that it's lighter around where the gameplay area is, and so that kind of works to the horizon in that way. So I can work with that. We can just treat it as basically a normal horizon then, I suppose. Oh, good old problem solving. And obviously, I mean, I'm not going to totally match this color even when I take it to canvas, so it's way more of just get it close. Because I just kind of need to give my client an idea more than anything else. And everything else is really just for me. It could even be lighter. Just be that's not bad. All right, that'll work. Okay, so next one up would be what color the base rocks are, I guess. And they look sort of like a cool gray with the, yeah, there's sort of those green and blue tones in there. I don't know, they're a lot browner here. Oh no, the rocks are browner, the structures are more the cool gray. Okay. Well, that's going to change things a little bit, but actually probably make it more sensible. Also, I mean, it's a shell. I don't know why I always do that when I was trying to say it. Cell shaded game. So trying to get that effect is what's really the most important. Get my nice calligraphy brushes here. Okay. So sort of those warm browns, but warm browns that lean cooler. The best way to say that. So maybe that's sort of a yellowish green. No, keep it cooler oranges, I think. I'm probably going to do a good bit of stuff with mist in this piece. Opacity, yeah, that's the one thing I don't need to shift. At least not yet. Like all of those rock faces. And I'm trying to finish up this acrylic space painting right now. Mostly so I can work on this commission because I want to get paid. But I also know that if I don't finish the thing I'm currently working on, the thing that I switch to will get done, and then the thing I want to go back to probably won't. So Trying to finish one project before another. One thing that would be really fun for me to try and learn how to do is probably to paint like a cell shaded thing. It's something that totally eludes me, and I think because for me, I want to mix my colors. I don't want to leave anything just like flat color on top of flat color. It's just the painter in me. But if I can like have an option to do like a cell shaded painting, would be probably really fun. It's not bad. Zoom in a little here. If you guys happen to follow me on Twitch, I was trying to play Portal with my Wacom tablet back on Tuesday, and it was a nightmare on top of a nightmare. It's just because that I games aren't designed to be done with a tablet, so it's like the game just did not know what to do, and eventually just like crashed my whole system and restarted it because it was like I can't do this anymore. But it was an interesting challenge. All right, that's decent. And then switch that. I want just like a lighter shade for the base of my there's the two finger scroll pan thing worked out well. I might have to just adjust Windows settings for that. If you want to get some maybe more of a violet tone for that. All of those upper areas where the grass will be, because I want some of that to show through a little bit, and that's probably how it's going to kind of work on the actual painting. So I want to try and mimic that a little bit in the digital piece. And this is one of those subtle things I noticed with the screenshots and the landscape things. And I think it might just be like go this way to the next level or something like that for this path. But I like the idea of really snaking this path up and around between these two sections of the rocks. I think it's going to make the overall piece a little bit more interesting. And with any thing like this, it's really about getting the composition right. Yeah, this will all be like a nice lush green, but getting this down as my base is going to be a really important part of this. I'm really just filling in over the white at this point, trying to get that base color down. So that was a little too much of that. I didn't realize that was. I thought I was pushing an underlayer. I'm actually pushing an overlayer. Okay, I actually want to shift this because the path is going to be a different color than that. Actually, I want to swap it. The path will stick with being even warmer. So there's going to be a path color and a grass color, and the path cuts through the grass. And it's also going to offset this foreground hill. Oh shit, I didn't put that color on this one. Didn't even think about that. That was dumb. This is gonna be here. This is this little section with the squares. I want to jump back to this. It's barely visible in that mini screenshot, but when I looked at this upper thing, I saw this whole like lower section with these symbols and the tile work and stuff, and I was like, that's gonna be a really interesting spot. It's one of those things that where it's like, it'll be there for people who've played the game and that know what I'm doing there, but for everyone else, it's gonna seem like just a thing. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for is like, again, like it's little things like that that makes a piece like this work. Uh, Regardless of the fact that I haven't played the game, I know how to put little references and things in there like that because I know how those work, and I know how gamers of all sorts, like they look for stuff like that in fan art. They look for those little references the same way they look for them in the games. So putting something like that that's so minimal in doesn't like totally change the composition, but it's enough that it's a little different. Is I think one of those things that's gonna make the piece stand out more. Oh, man, I really gotta remap my remap stuff here because it just keeps getting screwed up. All right, I'm about due for a quick break. I gotta stand up and hit the bathroom real fast here. But where's my hard round? There we go. I want to get the base structures, structures, because I want to get that cool gray in here as well. Probably leans greener on the cool gray. Here. It's really just those, let's go even lighter. So they just stand out in the base color sketch. Because I just need those, mentally I need those layers to be separate. The only thing I need is just by the time I finish this, I need to be sure my client's good with it. And if I'm good with it, I'm sure my client will be good with it. I will say though, for those of you that know me and my work and my channel, I've been following for a while, you'll know that I generally don't do commissions / client work, unless I get to do something like this, where I not necessarily have more say. Actually, no, I take that back. That is what I'm saying. when I have more, the better way to say it is, if I have more freedom to work the way that I'd work, I've attempted and actually dropped a few commissions when people are like, "Hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this." I'm like, I don't think you want me. I'm not the person you want to commission if you're gonna dictate how I do things. So I generally avoid commissions unless somebody's just like, "Yeah, do whatever you want," and I'm like, "Okay, you asked for it." So this is really just like a do whatever you want within reason, so as long as it kind of fits the overall arching composition and feel of the project. So pretty happy with what I'm getting out of this overall thus far. All right, that's a pretty solid start. I'm good with that, and I can probably start working some color in besides the bases now, which is good. I'm going to take a short break, and I will be back. Okay, I'm back. Short break is over. So, color. What's the real thing? Background PKG1. And we're going to focus on this rock kind of in the back here. Oh, hello. So work with that color. Start darker. And just start playing. Might even get my brush a little smaller. And you know what? I want to get it something textured here. At least a little bit. I think the Oatly Essentials. Are they in there? Grid brushes, custom sets. Oatly Essentials, there they are. Nice. That's Chris Oatly, by the way. This is what he's calling his mask brush, but I actually really like this one. It's just a basic... it's like a hard round with a little extra flair to it. Oh, this needs to be up there, doesn't it? Base structures, yeah. I don't want to be coming over top of that too much. I don't even know if you can still get these brushes the same way. It was when I got them, it was when you sign up for Chris Oatly's like newsletter. You get like 3 or 4 different brush packs, and this was one of the ones that got. It was the Oatly Essentials pack. And I'm not one for like crazy amounts of Photoshop brushes or anything like that, but there's a handful of them in the sets that I do have that I just really like. And for just a quick digital piece, this is kind of one of them. All right, so there's that. I want to bring that in with a little bit brighter of a color. Probably something similar that I'd get out of a what would probably be like my titanium buff in terms of, with a little extra color mixed in. So that's probably what I'm thinking here. That's probably what I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just scribbling. Just pushing some color around. I don't need anything major. I'm just looking for a rough idea. And I'm actually probably going to leave my something I almost never do is leave my initial sketch layer in, at least digital wise. At this point I would normally like turn it off and like really go in and detail the shit out of this. But I'm actually not really looking for that for this piece. Although I do need my swatches here. Just gonna go on top of everything because I need that and that. And that mid-tone for the rocks is here. And that's probably all I'm gonna need for a while. Because I'm gonna come right over top of this with my where's my custom set? Custom set real brushes. I think it's real brushes 2. I'm not sure though. Where's my fan? Is the fan in there? No, the fan's in real brushes 1. That's right. Brushes fan. Small fan. This way. Good. Even in a digital piece, I'm using a fan brush for my grass. Just bringing that over top. I likely end up using like a flat in the real piece, but yeah, that kind of sits over top of that. And I'm going to reference back here. So a lot of this is just like bring in all the bright yellow tones to get that. Although I am seeing that so the edges of the rocks do lean a little bit. Where's that top down one? That one. Yeah, it doesn't really go. It doesn't hang over the edge the way I think kind of did my initial sketch with. You can see a lot of the rock structures outside of that. So I'm gonna try and capture that as best as I can. Ooh, I am gonna need the hold on. Oh shit, I don't have that. Well, I'll have to put that in swatches anyway. Just green, and then this green. There. Okay. G1. Bringing that light in there. What I'm gonna end up doing is basically just fading that out. Get some of that dark back in there. Then that brown, it's gonna come up to the edge more. There we go. Even with some of the dark tones. Now that layer, along with the base rocks, I actually want to fade lighter. Just a little. So I can... Okay, no, I take that back. That's not what I want to do with that. Not the opacity. Hold on, That's not what I want to do. KG mist 1. I normally don't work with a ton of layers in Photoshop, but I can imagine, I already kind of am seeing that this is gonna, I'm gonna have to for this one. Big, not hard. Big and not hard. Genki. And then I'm just gonna put that mist. Actually, I want to get that. Hold on. Cancel. Not that. I want to get the color to more match that green one from before, so we're not getting anything else there. We're just getting the mist in between it there for that whole sort of back layer, which is just going to fade out like that. We'll put the mist layer being even a little bit more there, and a sketch. This is probably the only layer I'm going to pull the sketch off, at least on the top section, because I want that edge to just blur into nothing. Like that. I'll erase some of the sketch and some of it I'll keep. Push that to the back. That's pretty good. So yeah, what I just kind of did there with that little backdrop layer, that's what the whole piece is kind of going to look like. And probably kind of closer to what it's going to look like by the end. Might turn my headset earphone stuff on and play some Creative Commons music when my playlist finishes from what it is. What am I at? Oh geez, I've got a long way to go yet. Might as well do it now. You know what? Nah, screw it. If you want stuff, you can find my playlists, Music to Paint by playlist on my website, which link you to YouTube playlists that kind of more or less take you back to the channel, but. Oh, that's right. I was using the Oatly brush, which I think I've already lost now. Oatly mask. There we go. All right. So you want BKG2. Oh no! Wait a minute. We want the path, or do we? No, we don't. I can work around it because it crosses in front of it and behind it, but I can work with just this and work around it because again, it's just has to be good enough for me and close enough for the client, and that's all that matters. I don't have to make it perfect, at least not today. I'm actually gonna get this really dark. Behind the base structures, keep forgetting. That highlight. Yeah, this sketch I wanna. This line's gonna screw with me. Unless I can actually take that out. Sorry, bumped the mic. Same deal with the grass then. Base dark. I really am kind of guessing with the background here too. Like, again, the game doesn't leave a ton of hints, I guess you could say, for what the background should really look like. So I'm kind of just pulling from experience doing most of it. But I'm still trying to push, at least to some degree, with what I know. And what I know is where certain things need to kind of sit to work compositionally. Because not everything in game worlds makes sense, so you gotta... Actually, let me grab one shade lighter and a yellower. Swatches. Come on, swatches. That's my highlight for that. So I want this to be just a little bit more. Maybe put some of that in one, just to lighten that up. Okay, background 2. We'll just pull the opacity down on it just a little. Not a ton, just a little. Okay, my swatches I'm actually going to move just so they're not right there anymore. So I'm going to be working on this path, so I got to get them away from the path. Okay, the path I actually got to look at now. It seems to be mostly similar to the rest of the piece, or the rest of the base rocks. Kind of leans a little more violet. So I guess I'm going to just try and stick with that. But turn the hell out of this so I can actually see what I'm doing. Eliminate it. Where's that round? There's my Oatly round, man. There it is. Be working smaller though. And then probably just grab something similar. That's pretty good. That is my base. Need to really angle this. Actually, no, I don't need to really angle this. I need to get it even. I really want to make it closer to the game, but like compositionally and color-wise, it really just needs to be browner. Kind of like this, but redder even, maybe. Actually, we'll go dark first. I can even turn the sketch off, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the sketch off for this one. What's funny about doing this, especially for this path, is I know exactly how I would do this with a paintbrush, but it's a lot harder for me to do it digitally, just because it's like I want a flat brush and I don't have a flat brush, because digital brushes just don't work that same way. This track I'm listening to totally has a Sonic 3 vibe, and I'm just digging it. Okay, I can turn the sketch back on now. Amp that up. Oh, holy shit! I hit the. Hate when I do that. Hit the scroll bar. Just goes everywhere. Okay. Rotate back around. There we go. I'm doing that with the path, and it needs to be a little oranger, and then just get that brighter tone across the whole thing. Still gonna turn it and zoom, even though I just pulled it back. Okay, the sketch I'm actually probably just gonna, at this point, make a little bit lighter, because I feel like it's obscuring too much, but I don't want to totally erase it. I'm just gonna do that with it. I'll probably come in, so I sketched everything in just like a black, so I'll probably kind of come back in later with a like a pale white at the very end, just give everything a little extra polish, so I can see where my contrast is. Making that brush a little bit bigger as I get to the foreground, just to, like if this was canvas, I'd be glazing, but it's not canvas, so unfortunately for me, I can just kind of baste some color into this. Looks pretty good. I want to get some of that brownish color for the lower path there. And get my calligraphy brush back. Where's my calligraphy brush? Let's see. Must be further up. Custom calligraphy. There we go. It's just basically a flattened out round in Photoshop, but wildly useful. Make sure those darks really kind of play in up here. Also, because we lost some of that to that mist earlier. That's pretty good. Okay. I just want to go back to background 2 because this sits beneath this layer. And getting my fan. I'm gonna angle it for dark green. This layer sort of in the back over here, because that's gonna sit behind all this other stuff. So that needs to be addressed before we get to the stuff in front of it. Very little bit on top of that, just to... Yeah, the real challenge with a piece like this is just trying to, again, capture the game, but also making it enough like my own work that I'm still happy with it. Oh, man. Alright. Things are awfully quiet tonight. People must be busy. Okay. Just want to get some of this grass up in and around the path. Which I think I'm actually going to make a little bit bluer in the sort of the darker tones here. Okay, I'm trying to offset things a little bit more. Move my swatches again. Put them up here where I'm not really doing anything yet. Better save this while I can. A lot of this will probably get reshadowed a bit later. Although that super highlight is what really is going to allow me to put stuff right where I want it. Like here, right on top of there, right there, right here. And then I would have totally avoided on that other side. Actually got to go straight into blue for this. Because like all of this is going to be just in the dark, or in the shadow rather, behind all this. Could even maybe start pulling some of that from that first structure and the second one there. Because I wanted to shadow over top of the path, which is because that's what it would do in reality. All right. So we want FRG. Base. And so dark on top of that light. That. I think this is the Oatly brush. Yeah, looks like it. Kind of up and over. And I'm doing this one too on top of that grass I just dropped in. Would have probably used a calligraphy brush here as well, but I kind of forgot about it already. Ooh, shoot, missed a spot. Right here. Smaller. Get that line work in there. A couple of spots you just kind of want that line work in. Or at least I do. Again, I'm just trying to get it to where I know I can get my client to officially sign off on it before I take it to Canvas. That's all I really need. That's all I really need to worry about, and hammering out some color details for myself. Just noticing the other section in the background here I've already forgotten about. That's alright, I can fake that into this layer. Alright. Get my grass brush back. And my grass back. It's not ass backwards, it's grass backwards. That is tasty. Also, part of this stream has been about me waiting for the meat I pulled out of the freezer to defrost, which I feel like is probably getting pretty close. So I might call it a stream pretty soon. Won't have enough time to, at least mental time, to finish this. But that's kind of par for the course for me because I never managed to finish it. I never managed to finish an entire piece on stream. That's kind of the point of the stream. It's just to capture a piece of it. Let's see where we go from there. But again, mostly this is just me making sure my color is good and the client is happy before I start going nuts on Canvas and switching things up. See more of the texture in here. And then upper light. Back to that round. Wish it wouldn't show all the like there's recent brushes, but all the recent brushes shouldn't be every time I change the size. Like, you know, it's like, come on, Photoshop, get your shit together. That's not a Windows 10 thing or a tablet thing. That's just a weird Photoshop thing. I like Photoshop, but sometimes, man, it's just a little weird, a little more irritating than it should be. I'd still much rather take Photoshop any day over top of like half of the other apps that are out there for painting. I really should try Illustrator someday. Totally spelled figure wrong. That's alright. I want to get the figure in before I lose track of my sketch lines here. Figure. It's like the layer is called figure. It's not figure. It's figure. Usually I'm have a layer called it's like fig and sig or something like that. It's figure and signature. Oh man, kind of on a roll here. Like I want to quit, but I also don't want to quit. So I'm probably not going to quit. I'll crack another mics and take another short break because I want to see how my meat's defrosting. So give me a couple minutes. Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe I should cut the stream. Like, no, I don't want to cut the stream. I just want to keep painting. We'll see. We'll see how things go in the next 15 minutes or so. I gotta go check on my meat. Bad euphemism. Okay, so as soon as I stood up and started doing stuff, like, okay, I gotta go eat something soon. So, I do need a wow hiccups now. All right. What do you say we kind of get at least a little bit close with this? I want to at least send this to my client before the end of the weekend. This was like one of like my 3 things I do this weekend. I'm already like 75% through, so that's a start. If I can send this to my client by Sunday, I'll be happy. So we've got structures here. Which, again, shape-wise, that's something I'm probably gonna have to express to my client that I'm not happy with the way the shapes look in the sketch, and that's something that will change to be more accurate in the final piece. Also need to build some of this color in my swatches, so I'm going to do that here. So we're going to go with this it's closer to a mid-tone there. Push it darker and probably a little greener. Actually, no, I got to get some more reds into this. So I'm gonna go like maybe a red orange, deep red orange. Definitely leaning towards the red for my shadow color here. And then the highlight's probably gonna be fairly similar to that, but maybe a little bit greener, bluer, probably bluer. Something more like that. There we go. Actually, even gonna rotate my swatches now because I don't need the other ones as much. Just pull them over there. Start playing with these structures. So my light's kind of coming from the upper left, so I got to think about where that color is sitting for the rest of this. Since I'm changing my mid-tone, I have to work with that first. And actually I want to grab a textural brush. So the Oatly Essentials may or may not still stick with me for this. Splatter charcoal smear, maybe. This looks fairly similar to the basic Photoshop dry brush. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. No, yeah, that's too weird of a brush for that. I need something more basic. Sorry, Oatly Essentials are getting pushed. Oh, the Poblano brushes. Quick build, square sketching. I gotta source this at some point to kind of send this back out into the world. So it's Pablano. Poblano is maybe. DeviantArt artist. I picked up this brush pack. I'm pretty sure I can't use it commercially, so I can't technically sell the digital pieces that I would make with it, but I don't sell digital pieces, so it doesn't matter. The brushes are called Quick Build Brushes 1. There's a bunch of like square stamper brushes in here for quick buildings, but the square sketching brush, which is the first one in the set, is one I used constantly. So Poblano, I don't know, something like that. And it's sort of the one I go with for a lot of stuff, including all this. So I'll bring my sketch layer back up to 100% because I'm going to need that. I need those lines to show up a little bit better, at least for, again, the base of this. I feel fine when I'm sitting down. As soon as I stand up. As soon as I stand up, the alcohol hits me. Yeah, so going with a, for whatever it's just a fairly basic square brush, but the trail off of that it gives me is really nice, and that's why I love it so much. And there's that one, which I'm just probably gonna totally darken in, because it's gonna be even in the actual piece, it's gonna be way more of a silhouette. You know, even as I'm working on this, I'm like, maybe I should charge the guy a little bit more, just because this is actually gonna, the way things are going, this is actually gonna turn out really nice. Which, I mean, it should. I mean, not that I like work less hard at commissions or anything, but part of me is like, it's a commission, getting paid regardless. But the I'm really having I'm having so much fun with this that it's just like, is it worth charging another $25 for the fun I'm having? Maybe. Of course, now that I said that publicly, I probably can't, because the guy might find this video someday, and then I might be in trouble. Like, you charged me more because you were having fun. What's the matter with you? Yeah, this will actually be good too, to using more warm tones in the shadows. That'll help unify it with the rest of the composition a little bit better. Oh, come on, brush size. There we go. Probably just gonna stick with this square builder brush. for the bulk of the rest of this. Although now I gotta... Oh, shit. Goddamn radial menu. Hate that thing. Okay. Brush size. There we go. Yeah, so I'm still trying to somewhat capture the segmented thing of these structures, but again, that's something that's going to change a lot more in the final piece and not so much in what I'm doing in the concept sketch. So, just going to zoom a little bit and tilt ever so slightly. I'm honestly really pretty happy with this thus far. Sketch can go back down to a lower thing. Opacity, there we go. That's the opacity was the word I was looking for. Ah, the base. The base comes up too far, that's why. This way. There we go. Trying to figure like, why is it not erasing? Oh yeah, it's on the base layer, okay. That's gonna stand out more. Yeah, that's the only one I actually really care about in terms of getting right. The one in the background can afford to be a little less because it's a backgroundy one. Just reached the Donkey Kong track on my playlist. Nice. Stuff I wish I could stream. It's like all the music I listen to because it's stupid fun. That's probably gonna be my plug for the new year is paint and jam with me on my Discord because I built a Discord for the channel and didn't really plug it a ton this year because I only kind of managed to start it like maybe 2 months ago or something. Actually, I think it's 4, but it's kind of been fairly inactive, so that's goals for next year, I guess. Okay. Oh, right, I've got this thing on the right I keep forgetting about. I should get the darker tone here because I have to at least semi-prep that, I guess. That, and then that white. Actually, no, but I should go with that path color. I want to leave that way more ambiguous for my client to kind of guess what I'm doing there. I gotta just make that smaller though. Yeah, again, color is mostly just for me. Also now I'm realizing I got these other ring structures to paint in now. Okay, I can probably turn the swatches off now. Actually, yeah, I can. So again, capturing something that works with this game that my client wanted me to paint a thing of. And just me trying to figure out what to do with that in my own style is kind of where I'm sitting tonight. Oh, switched away from the page there. Forgot about that. Okay. So straight black and white now. Actually, the white I'm probably gonna be an off white. Leaning on that bluer side. similar to my other side of that. And I'm just going to add a few final segments to this. I'm calling it contrast push because that's all I'm really doing here is just make that even bigger. Just give the piece what it needs to be, what the, at least as close as I can manage it to the final version that'll more than likely be on canvas. Little things here and there, general areas that need to stand out above others. I'm not really zooming in for these, I'm just kind of giving them extra basic little sketch lines just to kind of see where I need to be. Actually, the whole contrast push needs to be above everything. Thinking like, oh, it's behind the sketch. Like, no, it needs to be above everything. So I'm getting that. It's like basically a white sketch over top of everything. General ideas, any highlight that needs to kind of come up over this edge to any edges that need to stand out, get a little extra push, you know. One, two, three, four. That's pretty good. I think my client will be happy with that. Zoom into the corner here. Get me a signature. At least roughly to what it would be. So that L is a push there. And then there. All right, that's basically it. I mean, I wasn't planning on doing all of this tonight, but hey, one less thing for me to do this weekend, for sure. So yeah, this is going to be, after I finish the painting I'm working on currently, this is going to be my next piece because it's a commission and it's a thing I have to do. Except, drop this as probably a JPEG would be the easiest way to do that. Yeah, that's that. Oh, that was the end of my playlist too. Well, that worked out perfectly. Yeah, so thanks guys for joining me tonight. There's a decent chance this is all I'm going to have this week, so I do apologize for that. I was playing with ideas of getting a couple of video ideas for my bulletin board done, but it probably isn't going to happen because I've really got a lot on my plate right now with getting my current piece. If you follow my Instagram, you'll see some snippets of that finished, so I can work on this. That's basically it. So yeah, trying to finish one project to get into another but it's probably 6 different more. We're leading up towards the end of the year. I've probably got maybe another month or so worth of regular videos to upload if I can manage to get regular videos done to upload. It'll be at that point that'll be like message subscribers and outtakes to the end of the year. I tend to take December sort of off, so to speak, in terms of uploading because I have a lot of other stuff going on. But yeah, that's all hopefully not all for this week. I am going to still really try to get a video done this week, but wanted to stream this Friday, or today rather, in this nice quick little thing that I did in the past hour and a half, I think it is. Digital concept sketch for an upcoming commission. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks guys for watching. This has Ben reminding you to keep on creating.